Hello, everybody. This is Nick from the Phoenix Press, and welcome to the Friday Night Frenzy, the one stream where everything is canon, and the topics, they're more like a set of guidelines. Let's bring in our wonderful hosts. First off, we have the Lord of Comics himself, Jared. How
Game
you doing,
over,
buddy?
man! Game over!
What are we gonna effing do? And speaking of weird pairings, we have the mistress of ships herself, Bunny Girl Nix.
Yep.
As soon as I introduce, how's everyone doing today?
Doing very well. Feeling very alien. I was trying to figure out a way to factor in.
Yep. Let's just kind of go into the chats.
Yep.
Hey, Nathan. Woohoo! Yes, indeed. It is the Friday Night Frenzy where things get a little crazy. So Nix, I had to grab some burritos before we started the stream. You want to know what I was like before I ate? I was feeling a bit hangry.
They do move in herds.
That was like the perfect follow-up, sir.
Yeah, I knew it. I was like, there you go. I'm learning from the master, from the old master. He's looking for his clip right now. That's why he's paused right now.
I hate it when he does that.
I love whenever Nick is like staring off on the side screen very intently. It's like he's picking up a clip, and I'm like, here we go. Yep, there it is.
Nobody's perfect.
There it is, right there.
Oh my god.
Prepare for the fight scene.
I hate you so much.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
It's amazing. Like, you can tell, like, okay, that's a clip from that stream, and sometimes keep them.
And the funny part, I can know when I'm really annoying you when all of a sudden you'll start using a bunch of clips one after another. That's when I know I'm really getting to you. Mission accomplished.
If this was Rumble, you'd see the gesture I was making.
Yeah.
All right. What are you saying next?
Nothing. I just said he's getting your goose.
Yeah. So enough of this. Let's just get into the frickin' headlines.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
All right, everybody, welcome to Headline Hysteria, where we go over the topics that are important, just not important enough for a full stream. So we got two pretty good ones. Basically, we got a failed show, we got Jared's review of a crappy movie, and then we got some.
Whoa! I'm not reviewing a crappy movie, bro. Whoa.
We shall get to that, but let's have our victory lap first. So, all right. First off, I'm just gonna say this. I would play the clip, but Warner Brothers would copyright me. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
No,
bitch.
Bye, Headland. There you go. But you know, it's kind of funny. Remember, like a couple of weeks, like when the show first started getting getting pushback, that cringe video all the Star Wars content creators put out saying, oh my gosh, respect and like the show or something like that. And I'm like, how'd that go for you?
Yeah, like the fact that it got canceled. And then also, like, did you hear, like, they instantly removed the merch from the store? Like, holy crap.
I saw they put it back up.
It's because they got caught. Let's be honest. They got caught.
I think they're gonna take everything away. I think eventually they're gonna do that.
Well, we all know where it's going. It's all going to Ollie's. All that merch is going to Ollie's. That's where Star Wars goes to die. Is hey Pika, hey Silly Girl, hey Jag. Jag's got some good stuff for what we're talking about for the main topic. Nix, what's your take on like the Acolyte being gone?
You know what? This is a win for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have
Silly Girl.
You have
Thank you.
quote unquote adult actresses coming out and saying, "Yo, we did this and we did it better years ago."
And then you go look at it. They actually did.
Yeah, but the other thing is like when you have like put this way, as opposed to like these actors or like lower form content creators, I take the opinion of someone like Star Wars Theory more than this, and even he was like, yeah, good, because he was talking about how much it like violated canon and everything like that, and I'm like, it's a bunch of a lot of the people going after him were like low level content creators that were just jealous that people take his opinion seriously.
But Jared, lore is an important. Lore is always evolving. Lore can be. By the way, 2 weeks time from now, we're having a stream on like lore and canon, and that's gonna be a great stream.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. So next week we're doing Hook. Jared's not going to be there because Jared doesn't have good taste in movies. And then the week after that we're doing lore. I'm sorry, it needs to be done. But anyway, sorry.
But no, but the whole thing is like, I get what they're going for, and you know what? On paper, this sounds like a cool idea for a show. The problem is when you blatantly go against established lore from the time period that they are like playing in, because it's one thing, because that's why they did a prequel series, because they're like, we don't have that many requirements. The problem is you already have canon lore, not legends, canon lore that contradicted this show.
Yeah, I love like the whole like okay, the Bleeding the Crystal I actually found to be a bit hilarious because Bleeding Crystals has been in canon for about 10 years now. Like when Disney took over in the Vader comics, they introduced the Bleeding the Crystals. What?
Those Vader comics are freaking awesome.
Yeah. So like the Bleeding the Crystals, I don't like it. I think it's like edgelordy crap or whatever. But like it's just hilarious. Like you're like Bleeding in the Crystals, like they act like it's all new.
No, but again, this gets into my thing of people saying, "Oh my god," this gets into my thing, Nick, that I say all the time about like crappy shows using nostalgia armor. They're like, "Look, they're Bleeding Crystals. This is the greatest show ever because we're seeing that." I'm like, look at around it. And let me put it this way: if you have a diamond in a pile of turds, does the pile of turds stop existing because there's a diamond in there?
Like, okay, yes. Duel of the Fates is probably one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. Does that make the rest of Phantom Menace good?
No. Now, here's the thing. Did the Bleeding Crystal scene look cool? Yes. Because it's cool seeing like the red go up the lightsaber blade.
I don't agree with the lore change.
No. I'm saying visually it looks cool. The problem is, I would rather, if I had to have it, I would rather have it in an area where the lore didn't have to change. That's the thing. It's like, I get what they're going for. People are like, oh my gosh, all the stuff from their canon. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But
it's just for every like Bleeding of the Crystal scene, there is cutting your hair with a lightsaber scene.
And somehow that like allows you to hide. Or there's another Star Wars shipping scene of the dude that walks up to a girl naked.
And I'm just gonna say,
no!
the light whip is not like I will defend the light whip. No, it's fine. Because if you read the Darth Bane novels, so the light whip is canon in Legends. By the way, I'm just saying that right now.
I still think it's stupid. You don't. Not everything has to be turned into a light weapon.
You don't want a light axe?
No, I don't. Lightsabers should be the only thing that exists here for light weapon.
What about a light halberd?
No, it's stupid. Stop trying to expect. It's the same thing of like every Green Lantern.
Jared, what about a light beer?
No, Nick. It's the same thing of like every DC Comics writer when they write Green Lantern, they have to add a lantern core. I'm like, no, stop it.
Oh my god!
But the royalties, Jared.
I know. Coral actually has.
Oh god, yes, yes.
Can we get that as like a variant cover? It's like Wolverine. They're recreating the Wolverine versus Hulk cover, but it's just the lightsabers. Someone Photoshop that.
Oh god. Actually, I love like they're like there's edits where people take sword fights and they put lightsabers on them. They're actually really cool.
Yeah, but the thing about the Acolyte is like, and then people were like, "Oh, they even bring in Darth Plagueis," and I'm like, I don't care. First off, it's not called Darth Plagueis, so actually, it's kind of funny, Nick. The character was saved because they never identified him as Darth Plagueis. They just showed a character that looked like Plagueis. So really, that character is still pure. That was the funny part. Oh, that's funny. But I know that the other light weapons are canon. I still think they're stupid. Ah! That is cool.
Jared.
Much effort the fan put in there. You get the light coming off the saber on the characters, and you also have like the sparks.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is well
detail.
freaking done.
All right. This is
Princess
for all
Bride.
you ladies. The Chevy. All right. Wait for it. Sorry. That was. Like,
Yeah, and there were some cool concepts. Like there's a scene where the villain detaches a part of his lightsaber hilt and it becomes a short lightsaber, like in Fallen Order. See, that's cool.
I mean, like they've had those kind of like staff sabers where you twist it and it becomes dual saber.
No, I know, but I had never seen that in live action. There's a difference. But my point is, there were some cool stuff in there. The problem is, and this is why I only watched 3 episodes of it, it was boring.
That's probably the worst thing entertainment can be, is boring.
You know it's bad, Nix, when I'd rather watch a 3-hour movie that's just the C-SPAN parts of the prequel trilogy.
Oh.
But
I would rather watch those.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Now there are 2. Exactly.
They've got their ventilation shaft.
Where are those Zoidicons? No, but so
Jared, when we do episode 1, we got to bring in Melee K.
Anyway,
okay.
So continuing on, the thing about my my thing, where was I?
The thing about your thing. Jared,
the thing about the Acolyte, and I really hope that this teaches Disney a lesson. Because, by the way, Nick, so actually, it's fortuitous we were talking about this today, because earlier today, when I was getting ready for the show, I saw an article that was talking about rumors. But the rumor is that Headland's out and the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie's not happening.
I mean, we all know the Rey Star Wars movie is not going to happen. Apparently, they're already filming The Mandalorian Grogu, which, I mean, that's the only thing that's been successful, so I understand why that's getting pushed forward. I don't know how successful that's going to be, but I guarantee you the Rey movie is not going to come out.
Yeah, I think what's probably going to happen is that I think currently what's going on is Disney and Marvel, Star Wars and Lucasfilm and Marvel specifically, are taking a hard look at what they have been doing. Like, look at Marvel. We get Deadpool and Wolverine, which just made $1 billion. Then we get the somewhat positive fan reception to Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom. You gotta think that. My point is, you gotta look at Marvel going, okay, so how do we get people at least back in the theater?
Well,
okay,
I'm just gonna say this. I have seen the leaked trailer for Fantastic Four, and I am mildly intrigued. Mm-hmm. I think so far, okay, I actually might like this movie. Daredevil Born Again looks freaking awesome.
Yes, I'm so seeing that. You kidding me?
Also, you notice how they're starting to bring John's name back?
John? Who's John?
John Favreau.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't John's name in 5 years.
You know what I think? I think because they realize that, see, Dave Filoni is one of those creatives where you also need someone to tell him no occasionally.
So here's the difference between Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy. Kevin Feige was a good producer, okay? Mm-hmm. All the stuff that we love about the MCU, he did that.
Mm-hmm.
And he can be he can be a good producer again. And you see that where now that he's actually making moves again, he's making the right calls. Mm-hmm. Making Daredevil making Daredevil part of the Netflix canon was probably the best thing they could have done for that show. or just like now they're starting to kind of like it feels like Marvel's starting to kind of get its feet again. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Kang getting out was probably the best thing to happen to them.
And the rumor is that the Doomsday movie is going to start off with Doom showing up at the Council of Kangs and murdering everyone.
I mean, that's a bit cheap, but okay.
I mean, they have to get rid of it somehow, and I'm like, okay, that is the way to do it. Yeah, but you know what? Just get rid of it fast and get to the actual Doom War. I'm fine with that.
I mean, I would just not talk about it, like just never mention it again, because, I mean, it was
they did kind of address it. They did kind of address it in Loki season 2 when they were like, okay, yeah, we're watching those Kangs, but it's probably not going to lead to anything.
Yeah. I like, yeah.
Oof.
So I have hope for Marvel.
Yeah, Star Wars, I need to see more in order to get hope.
So, speaking of hope, or the lack thereof, Jared, I hear you went and saw a movie.
Yeah, so I saw Alien Ramen. Speaking of catering to fans, because this movie did that. So it's taking place in between Alien and Aliens. Barry, do you mind if I go into spoilers? Because it's going to influence what I say here.
Do non-spoilers first, and then I'm going to put up a spoiler tag so you can talk for like a few minutes spoilers.
Non-spoilers. It takes place in between Alien and Aliens. That's not a spoiler because everyone's saying that. And the cool thing about this movie is that they combined, so they respected all of the eras of the Aliens franchise, such as like the Prometheus prequel era and the original movie. So they found a way, I think pretty well, of merging the two like eras of the Alien franchise together in a way that was respectful to both, so they're not like stepping on anyone's toes that like Prometheus, like me, or anyone that exclusively like the OG movies. And they have quite a few Easter eggs. And the ending.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up a spoiler tag. It's gonna be this thing. As long as you see spoiler, please mute the stream. When the tag goes down, the spoilers are gone. All right, all right, spoilers. So while this is up, please mute the stream, and then once it's down, you can unmute it. Go, Jared.
Okay, so Nick, have you seen Alien, like the original Alien movie?
No, but I'm pretty familiar with how it goes.
Okay, so the story is she blows up the ship and blasts the alien into space, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. This movie picks up in the wreckage of that original ship. And it turns out that alien was not killed when it was launched into space. What it did is it secreted a cocoon around itself and protected itself for I think it was like 20 years from Alien to Romulus. So it's essentially the OG alien. It gets picked up by the company and brought to the space station. Now, the thing about this, the reason why they want to do that is because they finally explained why the company wants the aliens. The reason why they want to do that is because Wayland has all these colonies throughout all the galaxy. But they detected the reason why these colonies keep failing is because the people keep dying due to like disease and such. So they're trying to figure out a way to hybridize human DNA to create like the perfect like colonists, in other words, so they will be immune from disease. So they explain that. So then we pick up with the main cast. You have this girl, Rain, and she's like essentially a colonist that wants to leave this planet, but she needs like certain work time in order to like to qualify to leave the planet. So, and her like adopted brother is the android of the movie. And he's like a malfunctioning android. And her father, before he died, gave the android the mission, protect Rain. So she rendezvous with some of her friends, and they go, hey, there's a Weyland-Yutani space station in orbit that probably has cryopods. If we can get cryopods onto our ship, we can just leave and go to this paradise planet that exists. So that's how they get on the space station. So they get up there. It's all like deserted, essentially Alien Isolation. This game borrowed heavily from Alien Isolation in that sense, which scared the ever-living crap out of me. So there's this cool thing. So they find so what happened was, so the Wayland opened up that chrysalis and got the original alien out. Now, the thing is that the reason why they did that is because they wanted to they started to experiment on the alien and break down its DNA, and then they got the black goo from Prometheus. That's going to play a part later. And then they started also collecting face huggers, those things that go on the thing's face, and they have it in these little bags things.
Nix, they just want to hug your face.
I know. So
Almost like it's in the name.
yeah. So essentially they find the cryopods, but they're out of fuel, so they have to go to the med bay and find the fuel. And then when they're in the med bay, they find the original alien. It's dead. It's strung up. Now, what's cool about it? So you know the faceplate thing that the aliens have? What they explain in the lore, in the background lore, is that inside the faceplate is like the skull of whatever it was implanted into. You could see the human skull in there. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good nod. That's the first nod. This movie has a lot of Nazi original lore. So that's the original Alien, right? That's the original Alien from Alien.
So it has a copy of John Hurt's skull.
Essentially, yeah. So
yeah, because remember the chest burster was John Hurt.
Yeah. So what's cool about it is then they essentially the power turns off and then the face huggers start escaping. Now the cool part about it was in the trailer. They're in this room that's got like I'd say thigh deep water, and the face huggers are like going under the water like sharks, and then they're just jumping up on people. And what's cool is that so then they essentially insert a data chip into Andy the android to like upgrade his access so he can open the doors, but it starts to like change him. In other words, it upgrades him and he starts to look out more for the company and not for Rain. So you have like your somewhat morally ambiguous / hostile android of the movie, as you always have in the Aliens. So one of the people gets impregnated gets a facehugger on them. Now what's cool about it, they actually managed to get the facehugger off without killing them by freezing its tail and pulling it off. The thing is, they don't know if it was on long enough to implant the embryo. It was. So then this is the one part.
I was actually watching a Critical Drinker review, and that's kind of one thing where like in the original Alien, it took like a matter of days for the thing to gestate. But
here's
this one
the
was almost
difference, though.
instantaneous.
They changed that so many times in any of the movies, so that's why that didn't really bother me. Even in the game, in all of the lore, it's very inconsistent in how long it takes for the aliens to gestate. So I'm not really that much of a stickler. What I am a stickler for, okay, so I know they got the actors' families' permission for this, but I didn't like the CGI because what they could have done is, so in Alien 3, they have the android Bishop from Aliens, but he's badly damaged. The part you see in the movie is all animatronic. And they did it, and they managed to make it look good because it was just heavily damaged. You could have just heavily damaged the face and not have to, because essentially what they did is they had an actor do the performance, but then they deep faked I forget the actor's name.
I'm a bit conflicted because I like what they did with Tarkin in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was well done, but like they used a voice actor and it sounded like for the voice, and it sounded really close. This one, it was an AI voice. It was AI voice, AI image kind of thing, and that kind of creeps me out because it's fully artificial. Like there was no actor involved; it was a guy on a screen.
Now, I will say the CGI on the face looked better if it was on the screen. What I would have done is made it so the android uploaded his consciousness into the space station and you can only see him like on a screen. Because first, it's done that. And two, it's like that way it looks better. But anyway.
By the way, fun fact, the android from Alien is the same actor who plays Bilbo in Lord of the Rings.
I know. So it's cool. So the embryo was implanted, and so they get stranded on the space station. I'll say that, and the embryo gets out. And but what's cool is that they have this medical scanner piece of technology that when you hold it up to like your arm, you can see like the inside of your arm. So as the thing is bursting out, she's holding it up to her chest, and you can see the face hugger, the like chest burster bursting through the ribs. It was so cool. It gets out and runs away. We get the typical, like, oh, they find the skin. But then they find something else. So in the previous movies, it was typically the way it normally worked is that the chest burster came out, ran away, shed the skin, grew, and then it showed up as a fully formed xenomorph. In this, we got a little more insight. It actually crawled up onto the wall, formed a cocoon around itself, and then it like essentially like grew in the cocoon, and then it like popped out of the cocoon. And what's cool about it, so the a-hole of the movie, he tries to like kill it, but then he gets acid on him, and then the camera zooms in on his hand, and you can see the acid dissolve his hand to the bone.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh god. And then it falls on his chest, and then actually what's kind of interesting is that so the acid gets on his heart and then bursts his heart. So the xenomorph gets
Talk about a real heartbreaker.
So the xenomorph gets out and is hunting like Isabella Merced's character, and it is just like Alien Isolation. Like she is hiding under stuff, and the alien's like right on top of her on like a grate. It is so good. So then later on, they have to walk through a room that has those face hugger things. So the way this is the other addition to the lore. They make it so the way the face huggers track you is by like your heart rate and like your body temperature, because obviously they have no eyes. So you're like, how do they see you? So the way they get around them is they raise the temperature of the room to match the regular human body temperature of 98.6, and they try and walk through the face huggers. They don't make it, obviously, but they survive.
An attempt was made.
So then they get to the med wing, and they find the alien goo. That's what, and the androids, the Ash android. I'm calling him Ash for just for ease of like reference. Ash says, "Get the goo to the planet's surface so it can be studied, and I'll remote pilot your shuttle down there." So they get the goo, and they get some pulse rifles. Now, the cool thing about these guns is that they're auto-aiming. The reason why I say that's cool, because then they explain why a girl with no training can, like, down xenomorphs. The gun just aims for her.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, I could totally see guns like that having auto-aim anyway.
Well, those
She's
smart
playing
guns...
with aim hacks! She's playing with aim hacks,
well, Nick, those guns, those, like, machine guns... like Vasquez had in Aliens, those are auto-aiming guns anyway. So those exist in the lore. Anyway, so the point is, people die and they escape. I'm skipping around because...
Yeah, you need to wrap it up.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with this. They have the typical Alien ending where you think the movie's ending and then something happens. So what happens is, so Isabella Merced is pregnant in this movie. Obviously, in an Alien movie, everyone's like, oh, no. So she gets injured. So the android says, oh, the only way for you to survive is to inject that black goo into yourself.
Oh, God.
She does so. She goes to cryo. Then all of a sudden, the cryo alarm starts going off, and it turns out, so the black goo had, like, accelerated her pregnancy, so her belly is, like, distended. She gives birth to the seed thing. It gets out, and it is the creepiest human-alien hybrid I have ever seen. It looks like an engineer, but it's like really skinny. And the cool thing about this is they, speaking of visual effects, they use an actual dude. In other words, they have a really large basketball player playing this character. And when you first see it, all of a sudden it's like all quiet. And then you see like this creature like this. And then all of a sudden the lights flicker and you see it has human eyes. And then the last thing I'll say, it gets creepy because it starts smiling as it's hunting you. And I'm like, that is terrifying. So the point is, they do that and they escape. So
all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taking it down. I just want to say, I believe there's like an old X-Men Alien comic where Wolverine gets face hugged and the chest burster tries to burst out, but it can't. You know,
yeah, Superman got face hugged once, and cool thing about it is that he didn't have his powers at the time because of the sun, because he didn't have enough sunlight. So he had to jump into space in order to get exposed, so it wouldn't like burst out of him, and he managed to do it, and then he just burped out the alien.
Pretty sure Batman also faced the xenomorphs at one point.
The crocodile alien was from that.
Oh God.
But
All
anyway,
right.
it was a great movie.
Memorable.
So before we get into the main topic here, let's do some hot off the Phoenix Press where I give my weekly updates on what's going on. So we are funded, everybody. We have 8 days left to go, a little bit over a week. There will be a closeout stream Sunday, September 1st at 6 p.m. And the thing ends at 6:20. So it'll be pretty freaking awesome. I'm looking forward to this, and yep. So we are funded, and yep. Thank you, Happy Dinosaur, and thank you, Tevya. We are going for our first stretch goal, $2,000, where you get a where everyone who gets a physical version will get a bookmark. So that's pretty sweet, and yep. Just wanted to quickly update that. Screecher's still in play. I just got some new pencils. Jared will probably be seeing those here later tonight. But yeah, let's get to our main topic here. Oh god, I didn't create a banner for it. All right, Jared, talk about Super Wonder for a few minutes while I get this going.
Actually, here's the thing. To start off talking about good VFX, here's why Alien Romulus had fantastic visual effects.
That works.
Most of the aliens were all so the alien human hybrid is like a dude in a suit. But the like everything else, animatronics.
Practical effects are back.
It's practically all practical effects, and it looks superb. It looks so good.
Well,
And
Nix's cosplays always look so good.
Well, and that's the thing, because what VFX should be used for is like to augment like already existing stuff, because that's when it looks really, really, really good.
The best CGI is the one that you don't even know is there. That's plain and simple. So we're going to talk about why modern CGI looks so bad and why older stuff holds up. So I'm just going to play this clip here. This is from Titanic from 96, 97. Look at this. You can kind of tell, but it still holds up. There's no sound for that for a reason, but and now we have probably one of the greatest movies ever.
No, it's Snyder Cut, but still looks good. Still looks good.
Yeah. And then just kind of.
Well, the thing about it, you also have have to have a director that knows how to shoot visual effects, and that's Zack Snyder.
Say what you will about Michael Bay. He knew how to do visual effects. Like, look at that.
Well,
that still looks amazing to this day.
The thing about Transformers, and I've watched like every special feature of this movie, so I know this. What they did when they were making the robots is that they wanted to make they made a distinction between morphing and transforming. So they said
morphin' time.
They individually animated every part of the Transformer when they transform, and they made it so for the most part, every piece went somewhere when the robot transformed. So it didn't look like, it was just like more essentially morphing into a robot. No, it looked like it was actually changing and shifting.
Good.
Yeah.
That's why it looks good. And they did a lot with like the key thing to good visual effects is lighting. If you can light a scene right, you can hide a lot of bad visual effects. That's why Zack Snyder's movies look so good, because he was a painter and he knows lighting really well. Pacific Rim as well.
Like, this is like, it's just another this is another 10-year-old movie that just looks amazing. Really.
All the simulations they're doing is like, oh god, that has to be a pain in the ass to do.
Tevya, I don't know what you're talking about. There has never been a sequel to Pacific Rim.
Yes, there has. It's written by one of the writers that's being courted for Paradise Lost for James Gunn's DCU.
I mean, there is a fan film called Pacific Rim Uprising, but nobody's heard of it.
All right, so what do you think of the VFX in the fan film then?
It has the VFX of a fan film. Okay, we're doing this. So the thing I think that made Pacific Rim work was the Jaegers had weight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem with the fan film, Pacific Rim Uprising, is... Oh, God, I can't believe I have to do this.
Yes, you do.
Like, look at the Jaegers. They don't have any weight to them. They're moving around
you're not sharing because I cannot see it.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Every old man in technology.
Fluff off, sir. Oh, yeah, that's a ripoff of that joke from the first film.
If you want to talk about weight, here's the thing. I have another
look at
really
how he's
good
moving.
example.
He's like, Strike Eureka was the fastest Jaeger, and it didn't even move that fast. I get that these are Mark 6 Jaegers. I get that, but it just feels weird when they're all moving that fast. Like, it's just physics doesn't really work that way, I feel like.
Okay, so Nick, I have another really good example of VFX difference. Want to share my screen?
Okay, yeah, sure.
So I have two examples, and here's why I'm bringing up these two examples, because they're a good example of a good comparison and contrast. So here's Steppenwolf from the non-existent fan film of Justice League. So you notice it. Yeah, first off, it looks crappy, but you notice how he moves around. He's not very there's not a lot of weight.
Let's be honest. These are Snyder Cut scenes that they inserted him into.
Now, compare that to this one. Hang on. First off, the armor's alive.
I mean, just a landing alone. I could.
Yeah,
tell.
hang on. I'm gonna actually skip to the fight where he starts like attacking Amazons. Hang on. This massive CGI creature like Steppenwolf. See, in addition to him looking stupid, the problem with the 2017 Steppenwolf is that he was too small. It wasn't believable that he could like take on that many Amazons at once. Eventually, he's gonna get overwhelmed. And here's
also the problem with the 2017 one. They try to give him a more expressive face, and it ended up making him look worse. Like, I think the Snyder one version worked because they did addition by subtraction. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at it, the Snyder face is actually a lot simpler, but because of that, he's kind of allowed. It's not as much uncanny valley. Like you actually kind of avoid the uncanny valley with the Snyder one because the Steppenwolf in the Snyder one and the Whedon one has a more human-like face, so you hit the uncanny valley. So, but because Steppenwolf in that one, he's still expressive, but because he has less of a human face, you don't really hit that uncanny valley with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got devil horns on himself, and the way he's like massive. Oh, thank you, Brown Destroyer. But the other thing about the Snyder Cut, I'm gonna tell you this. So there is a visual effects. There's a CGI thing in this movie that when I found out it was CGI, it blew my mind. I'm gonna use this as a visual aid. Superman suit is VFX.
That's a very hot toy, sir.
No, the hot toy's over there. It's a statue. So fun fact. So when they filmed Justice League originally, Superman was still in the red and blue suit. Zack wanted to put him in the black suit because he was coming back to life. That's the thing, to keep it comic accurate. And people say Zack Snyder's not comic accurate.
I wish they would have not had the cape, but it's okay.
The point is, so what they wanted to do, so Warner Brothers kept saying no because they're like, oh, it's too dark. And I'm like, so what Zack did is he did it in essentially Photoshop and had a little switch essentially on. So if they ever changed his mind, all he's got to do is go, boop, black suit.
That's why in the Whedon cut, the suit looks a little off.
That's why it looks super bright. They try to explain it in the behind the scenes book, like, oh yeah, we did it for like, oh, he's going to exemplify hope now. I'm like, no, you did it because it's easier to hit invert colors. That's why. And that's the thing. When you look at the Snyder Cut Justice League Superman suit, actually, you know what? I'll pull that up real quick. So we can see that. Because I'm sorry, when I saw this, I'm like, you're telling me that is visual effects. Hang on, I'm trying to find the good scene to use. Okay, so here we go. When they originally did these shots, it was he was in the blue suit. I think perfectly exemplified this. And
wait, pause it right here. We were talking about the Steppenwolf. Let's look how inhuman his face looks.
Yeah, and the glowing eyes too.
Yeah. Like I think the problem with the is they put too much detail into the Whedon version of Steppenwolf, and if you look at it, he's actually not very like. I think this one is like probably as expressive, or maybe a little bit less expressive, but because it's more of an inhuman face, they can get away with more with less.
Yeah. So, fun fact: at SnyderCon, this is the video clip that Zach brought to show the black suit. So here's the black suit. And note, this is visual effects. He was not wearing the black suit. It is literally look at that shot, Nick. Can you tell that's visual effects?
I can't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you have a good director, yes, I'm saying Zack Snyder's good. Suck it. If you have a good director, yeah, if you have a good director, at least from a visual perspective, that understands the visuals, understands lighting, understands how to make things look good, this is the result. DC, it's not that hard. And then we get the Flash. Yeah. The Flash baby. It's a baby shower.
No integrity.
The CGI had no integrity.
Right. So Brown has a question for me. Can you ask your friend Robert, who claimed to be a Superman expert, why doesn't he complain about Christopher Reeve's Superman being completely different from the comics?
Okay, that's little bit that's beyond the scope of this video, Brown. I appreciate you bringing it up.
But I will take a screenshot and I will ask Robert the next time I talk to him.
All right, that works. So Brown, make sure to stick to Jared's channel, and he'll probably answer and bring it up. Nix, what are some examples that you have of like good and bad CGI throughout the years? Oh my God!
Did she just leave? She just rage quitted.
Yes, as I was asking the question. Okay.
No, but Nick, let's talk about the Flash visual effects, because here's the problem. Let's talk specifically about the. Okay, actually, no, she's back. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry. Decided it wants to be, well, less than helpful.
It's okay. It's just funny that you love just as I was asking you the question.
She's like, I don't want to answer that question. I'm gonna leave.
I will keep my secrets to myself, thank you.
Yeah. All right, fine. Then keep your secrets.
But no, I was gonna say, I think Gollum for Lord of the Rings is my example of good CGI, because at least for me, I really do find
in general.
Yeah, you look for Gollum specifically, because he's the one that they have to kind of interact with the most, or at least he's the one you see the clearest, the most.
Yeah, I mean, it really helped that they added like a mocap actor. Oh, sorry.
Planet of the Apes.
Again, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, there you go. But Planet of the Apes, perfect example of that.
When Andy Serkis dies, he better get an honorary Oscar. Like, why has Andy Serkis not gotten an honorary Oscar for his work in pioneering mocap acting?
Oh, here's a good visual effects shot. I'll pull it up. Go ahead, Nick.
But for bad, I'd have to say Scooby-Doo from the Scooby-Doo live-action movies does not look good at all.
I mean, for the time, I think it was okay. If you're talking about like 2003 one,
yeah.
Like, I don't. Well, okay, let me just like look it up. I think like the Scooby-Doo himself kind of works. I'm trying to find one with like the monsters.
All right, Nick.
What's yours?
Here's another scene. I'm sorry. I know I'm on a Zack Snyder kick, but you know what?
Wait.
We brought up Man of Steel.
Wait. We had to do this first. Okay, Scooby looks okay. The monster does not look good, but I think Scooby for 2003 CGI looks okay in my opinion.
For what they have to do with Scooby, yeah, he's fine. It's just the creature that looks
That is like 19 like direct to video 94 CGI. in my opinion.
Particularly how he like attack. Yeah, that I'm like, oh, that's just horrible.
Like Scooby looks okay. He looks okay. Like especially for like the time. But
That looks like it came from the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, yes.
That's like OG Xbox
Hey,
Nintendo
Keely.
64 graphics.
I don't even. I can't. Even as a kid, I was like, I don't believe that thing's really there grabbing Fred.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
actually,
I was waiting for Junior with perfect casting for Fred.
Have you seen some of the cutscenes for PS2 games? They look better than for PS1 games. They look better than this.
This looks better than the Flash.
Oh, okay.
Dangerous game, my friend.
But
no,
Nick,
you're not wrong.
No. I have to do something. So I'm going to show you a cutscene from Final Fantasy VIII, and I need you to tell me, does it look better than the Flash? All right. Okay. All right. So Nix, keep going.
But yeah, no, I think I've said everything that needs to be said about my disdain for. Like, okay, Scooby looks okay. The monsters look absolutely horrible. But like, I don't know. Even as a kid, you couldn't really convince me that Scooby or these other things were really there in the scene.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, they're overworked. It's
that
everywhere.
Too. One of the VFX artists who worked on the Flash actually said, spoke out when the movie came out, and what he said.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And what he said was, if the VFX, if some VFX shots look like they were made in a week, it's because they were.
All right. This is the opening cutscene for Final Fantasy VIII.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love this game.
Mm-hmm.
Nix, have you played Final Fantasy VIII?
This looks better than Scooby-Doo.
And this is like 98 for like 99 for a video game.
By the way, can I say real quick, with Brown Destroyer's comment, I want to say this. Nick and I are very critical of James Gunn. However, he recently made a statement that Nick and I very much agree with. He said the reason why he made sure that Superman wrapped shooting like a year before the movie came out is so he can give the VFX artists a year to work on the movie and not overwork them.
I mean, you know
what? That's good.
Let's give the man some credit. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had probably some of the best CGI of Phase 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let's give the man some credit.
Scene from Guardians. Hang on, I'll pull that up.
Well, I mean, the fact that you had entire scenes of animals and it actually looked like full on just animals talking, and it was convincing.
Yeah, I'm gonna share.
Give the man some credit.
Yeah. There you go, and it'll look great. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's the idea that like finally someone is saying, no, I'm not gonna overwork my VFX artist. So we got this scene.
Yeah.
It looks pretty freaking good. But yeah, that's my point, because when you treat your VFX artists with respect and don't overwork them, this is the result.
Yeah.
You get good work.
Actually treat your employees well.
Yeah,
like look at the camera movements, like the intense camera movements. The fact that it's like going in and out of this stuff. This is planning. Like sometimes you can tell when things are rushed when it's just like a static camera angles. But the fact the camera's weaving in and out with like live action actors, CGI, they had to plan this.
Well, yeah, and Gunn did say that.
Oh, by the way, shout out to the Alita Army. Like Alita has really good CGI. By the way,
Alita has excellent CGI, like her eyes and all that.
But I have to subject you guys. I am so not sorry.
Fun fact, you know who almost directed this movie? Zack Snyder.
It would have been better.
It would have been
but,
way
you know.
better.
Oh, by the way, do you know who's playing Piccolo in this movie?
Who?
James Marsters.
I was gonna say it's someone overqualified because they actually knew the source material and liked it.
It was Spike. Spike from Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Actually, this is a funny story because him and the guy playing Goku. Well, first it was him, but like big fans of Dragon Ball. The guy who played Goku got into it while they were filming, and he kind of became a little depressed that they weren't like doing the actual story. And I was like,
Also-
yeah, don't worry, buddy, we all feel your pain.
Also, another crazy thing. So, the one who
By the way,
plays,
Nick, for
Bulma.
April Fools, you're positively reviewing this movie.
No, Jay Heat is.
Oh yeah, Jahid is, yeah.
Poor man.
The-
Godspeed.
Yeah, so the one who plays Bulma, Emily Rossum, she was on a show called Shameless. Do you know who ended up being a recurring character on Shameless? Justin Chatwin on Goku, and they actually were romantically linked. I believe they actually placed like Goku figures in his room or something. It's just funny.
Were they from the movie or from the show?
Show the part where he turns into a werewolf.
Oh, the giant monkey.
Yeah, the
Oh,
giant
God.
monkey. So,
The Ozaru.
it's pretty much a werewolf.
Pretty much,
Right.
but like they tried to say in the movie that Ozaru is just what Goku turns into, and he was like palling around with Piccolo as the Ozaru. I'm like, how? How is that possible?
I have
You
no
didn't
idea.
set anything up.
Then the action figure.
Yeah, they made action figures in a video game.
Ah! That looks so bad!
I actually agree with Brown Destroyer. The CGI in Green Lantern is not the worst. Like even the suit is okay.
Okay, let's do this. The part of the Green Lantern suit that I think looks bad is the mask. That's it.
I mean, Jared, can we please make the suit not green or animated?
Because
Sorry.
here's why. And actually, Corridor did a great video where they talked about, like, hang on. I'm actually going to plug in a good scene here. Here we go. Here's a good scene to use, Nick.
Oh, actually, no, the training scene.
No. Here we go. Because in this scene, you see it all like straight up.
It's a good example of interesting CGI. So
Yeah, go
did
ahead.
you know in the prequels, let's see here, all the clone troopers were CGI.
Yeah,
and when when they had scenes when they're walking around with their helmets and they had Tamir Morrison, he was in a green screen suit.
Yeah. That blew my mind when I saw it because it looks great. Again, it's lit well. I think they improved in episode 2 because you know what they did? I mean, episode 3, because you know what they did? Do you know what helps VFX, particularly on like clean surfaces? If you put like surface imperfections, like a smudge, like some dirt, like some blaster hits, because that way it like subconsciously sells it in your mind that that's a real object.
Yeah, I think episode 3 CGI holds up fairly well.
Yeah, it does. Look at General Grievous.
Like his like the CG itself looks decent, but it's the animation that really sells
I'm sending
it.
you to the Mustafar system in the Outer Rim.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to reshare this because I don't care if I get a strike. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it.
I know what you're doing.
I
know what you're doing. I know what you're playing.
Viceroy, you have not found yourself in my grave.
All right, we're doing this.
Your ship is waiting.
It's waiting.
Okay. Oh god, I'm so good in strike for this. Well, it's kind of, probably just content ID, but still, here we go, Jared.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
I'm sorry. I had to do that. Oh
No, but again, that looks really good. And again, with the clone troopers, because the problem with the episode 2 clones, they're too, like, essentially perfect. They're too clean for
Well,
fighting in the
there's
desert.
Well, there was their first deployment, so there's that. But also, I'm sure you've heard this factoid. So there was a complaint for the clone troopers in episode 2 that they ran around like animators. And so what they did is they hired a person who was former special forces, who had been in the Black Hawk Down incident, to actually come in and teach the animators how they moved. Jared, did you know that fact?
Wasn't that for Republic Commando?
No, that was for the movie. Like, that's why, if you notice in episode 3, they move around a lot more like actual, like, special troopers.
Yeah, and they aim down. They actually aim down their sights instead of just standing in the middle of the field like this. I'm like, this is a Rambo.
Yeah, they just want first blood. Oh god. But yeah, a lot of episode 1's CGI holds up. Some
Like
of it
Jar
does.
Jar.
No. Like, actually, I think Jar Jar CGI doesn't really hold up. I mean, for 99, it looks pretty decent. All right, Jurassic Park Death Battle question. I know who Owen Grady is. Who is the Muladon?
Muldoon was the raptor guy who went clever girl.
Oh, okay, that's actually a good question when we're doing this. Okay, I'm gonna choose the third option.
I'm gonna say this.
No. I'm
No.
choosing the third option. The big game hunter from Jurassic Park 2.
That's not an option.
It is. I'm making an option.
No. Owen Grady had actual training from the Navy. So he had weapons training. And that's in there.
I would say Muldoon. Muldoon had more of the killer instinct. I mean, shooter! You know.
Owen could kill people.
Yeah.
In fact, he kind of did.
Which Arkham game has the best? I mean, all 3 games are CGI, so.
Well, how about that CGI trailer that Blur Studios did for Arkham, which is Batman versus Deathstroke?
Oh, if we're talking about, like...
Why are you not playing that right now, sir?
No, I'm playing something else from Blur Studios. I'm going to have to mute this.
Star Wars, of course. Tintin.
Like, I love this so much.
That is so good.
Like, I mean, this also has the hail effect, by the way.
Yes, it does. It does. So it automatically gets 5 points.
Oh god! Remember when we tried to do like a playthrough of KOTOR and it just like fell flat on its face?
Yeah.
But this looks so good. Like, this still looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and Blur does a lot of fantastic stuff because it's like a lot of the stuff that they do, they actually film for real and as like reference. Oh, here's another thing. Hang on.
No. I have to look something up for you. Keep going, Jared.
Yeah. Let me see. Which one is this? Yeah, right here.
Jared? No, Jared. This is for you. You want to know what probably one of Blur Studios' most crowning achievements is?
Okay. There you go! Yeah. Yes,
that is for you, Jared. That is so... So, Jared, can you explain what is going on here and how did this come to be?
So what they wanted to do... So they were launching the Master Chief Collection, which is
Oh my god, this
essentially
looks so freaking amazing.
yeah. So what they want, so they took the old 2004 graphics for Halo 2, and
Nick, look at how amazing this is.
wait, hang on. I'm gonna pull up the original graphics for you to actually see what this looks like. Hang
Okay,
on.
Vince Vaughn's character also ain't the kind of like, I feel like he's more experienced. That's why I said that. Vince Vaughn's character versus who? Because Vince Vaughn's character was just like an activist disruptor kind of person.
Nick, this is actually good because I found the exact. See, these are the OG graphics,
Okay.
which don't look bad, but hang on.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but
Compare the two.
yeah.
Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to bring up. By Blur.
Oh god, here we go. I would say the CG on this does look dated, but the animation is amazing.
Yeah, the animation is so good.
The model and texture work is a bit sketchy.
This also has some Super Wonder moments. Hang on.
Of
So they call
course.
Superman. And then I love this is what we would have gotten if James Gunn had not been a-hole and gotten rid of Cavill. You could say the hierarchy of power of this fight.
I knew it. I knew that was coming.
No, but look
Nix,
at that.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this, Nix?
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, granted, yes, not all of it looks good, but in the
there you go, Jared.
In the comic adaptation, they say of this, you know what Lex Luthor says? It's obvious these two are in love.
This is why you like DC Universe Online.
I can neither confirm nor deny. But my point is...
By the way, Stranger needs to do another team up.
Yeah, so... My point bringing that up is that those are just some of the things where I think, yeah, even if it's just for the time, that's actually not that bad in terms of like CGI.
For video game cutscenes. I mean, like some of the stuff they were doing on the PS2. If you're talking about like cutscenes, they were doing some pretty good stuff on the PS2 as well.
You know what actually looks a little dated? The OG Ultimate Alliance cutscenes. They look a little too grungy and a little bit too like leathery. Honest, if I'm being honest,
like that's what I'm saying. The CGI does look a little bit sketchy on that. But there's a lot going on. Like there's a lot of effort put in that cutscene. So you gotta give them the credit.
Yeah, 100%. But the point is, like, so Nick, let me ask you this: what do you think goes into those movies that have like enduring VFX that always look good, or at least
I think
age well?
Like what a lot of people said is effort, care, craft. Because the key to CG is money and time. The more money and time, Ben Affleck Batman movie. I think I watched that video.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people making clips about the Ben Affleck, what was supposed to be the thing for the Affleck Batman, the plot, which would have been him versus Deathstroke, which apparently real DC fans don't want because they're like, Deathstroke's a Teen Titans villain. Even when you have Marv Wolfman, the co-creator of Deathstroke, going, no, I want this.
So I just want to say, because I feel like this is going to be brought up at some point.
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking out this series. No CGI, it's just invisible CGI. He goes into, like, he dispels a lot of the myths about CGI in movies. It is, like, an amazing, 4-part series. I have it in the chat here. I'm bringing it up because I feel like somebody is going to mention it to me, so I'm just kind of...
Yeah, because there were VFX.
I recommend watching the series.
Yeah, because there were VFX shots in Top Gun Maverick. There were
he talks about it. He talks about it.
Yeah, exactly. He talks about it. It's like really, what's interesting is that when a movie studio says, "Oh, these are all real," a lot of the times that's just marketing. So
Yeah,
they
like
do
for
do
example,
some stuff.
Mad Max Fury Road,
Wait,
a
wait.
movie. Sorry.
I want to be clear. They did shoot some stuff with real jets in Top Gun. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm saying
Well,
some of the
no.
shots that they used are not real jets.
No, what they did is they used real jets, but then they put like CGI tracker markers on them.
Yeah.
And then they just basically kind of like put CGI over the jets. So I think it actually helped the shots because they move realistically like jets.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, it also helps for a lighting reference. They have a lighting reference, but also it's like a mocap artist almost. And it's like with Gollum. The reason why Gollum works so well, because if you look at like the model work of Gollum, it does look very dated. But what sells it is the mocap work.
Yeah.
Like the quality of Andy Serkis's work as a mocap artist sells it. And it's the same thing with here. Because these jets are moving around like jets, like with the proper weight, it helps sell them. But yeah, like that's a problem with like a lot of CGI is things don't have proper weight. Like Black Panther.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
The final fight scene. People say it's like a PS2 cutscene. The reason why is the characters don't move around with any sense of weight.
Or the fact that here's what also about the final scene of Black Panther 1, at least, that makes it, that really hurts it. So they're in black suits and they put them in an all black background where you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Well, or here's the thing, the other issue, and Nick, you pointed this out when we were watching clips in Black Panther 2 when Shuri is like jumping around. No weight.
Yeah, and at least that's like during the day or something. But like she's hanging off a ship, okay? Because we as humans, we intrinsically know how things should move, okay? So she's like basically moving on like a ship on the side of it. The only thing really keeping her from the waves is her claws sticking to the side. And the way she moves is not characteristic with how we know the body should move.
Yeah.
By the way, that's called the uncanny valley effect.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's the interesting thing. There is a time when the uncanny valley can actually help you. Like in Alien Romulus with the hybrid alien, it looks uncanny valley, but the thing is like it's supposed to look that way because it's a freaking alien.
The problem with that is that can so easily descend into cope. Like, remember the Flash when Andy Muschietti said, it's supposed to look bad.
Yeah, but this one is not trying to look realistic at all. The other one is still trying to look like an actual person.
That's what Andy Muschietti said with the time travels. It's not supposed to look realistic.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. It's just that can be too easily used as an excuse.
Understood.
But yeah. I don't know. Just like I grew up in like the 90s and 2000s, where like every film was doing something groundbreaking with CGI and special effects. Like Ice Age was the first CGI film to have realistic fur, you know, or The Incredibles, like human models or hair, and
again, fur is extremely hard to do in VFX.
Do you want to know the most? You want to know the most challenging substance to animate? Dust.
Yeah, because you have to track each individual, like
each particle has its own algorithm because you like when you blow dust, it goes everywhere, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I think the best films are the ones that use like a mixture of practical and CGI. The ones that use CGI to augment like set extensions. Or here's another one. Like we were talking about the MCU earlier. Jared, when was the last time you saw the original Iron Man movies?
Fairly recently. But yeah, original Iron Man looks... You know why? Here's the thing that helps Iron Man. If you look at the original helmet, it has like it has smudges on it, it has scruffs, it has dings. Because the issue a lot of like armor runs into when you do it VFX is they try and make it absolutely perfect and flawless. And the problem with it, that's when you get into really uncanny valley with the armor, where when you make it, when you put scruffs and you put dings and you put like
All right, look
bullet
at this.
holes in there. Yeah.
This still looks amazing.
Yeah. It's pause.
This
Pause.
still looks amazing.
Pause on Iron Man. Because if you see a
just...
little bit, if you see a little bit on his helmet, there's like scruffs and dings on there, and like black soot.
I know the
there.
There we go.
You see how there's smudges on his armor, that there's like little dings. What that does is, even though it's obviously not actually there in your head, seeing all those imperfections tricks you into thinking it's real. Because let me put it this way: if I get my Master Chief helmet on the faceplate, there'll be like finger smudges and stuff.
Well, to be fair, also, the thing about Iron Man 1 is they actually did build Iron Man suits, and there are some shots where they use like parts of the suit are actually real, and some are CG, and it makes. And the other thing is, this suit was built by Stan Winston himself. It's like, this is actually one of the last films he worked on. One of.
Yeah, and then when you look
Stan Winston is, was one of the best people in the business ever.
And then when you look at
things.
And then when you look at Captain America Civil War, where the suit's all CGI, when the helmet comes off, he kind of has the floating head syndrome.
Oh, or no, even better. Look at Endgame, where they went like full, like the whole nanotech stuff. I do not like the way the Iron Man looks in Endgame or Infinity War.
Yeah, the nanotech. I just think nanotech is cheap at this point. Which is why, Nick,
I hate nanotech helmets because it's just an excuse to, that's why, like in Deadpool and Wolverine, when
I was about to say that when he pulls the hood up, that's why that was such a big moment for me, because I thought they were going to do that, but the fact that they actually made it an actual hood, even though there's no way that hood could fit in the suit, I don't care. I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Yeah, like it has a whole nother issue, but it's like, okay, it's believable enough.
Yeah, it's like I like this way. I either go with that and have it be a little unbelievable that all that would fit in the suit, or I have it be nanotech. I'd rather have the actual hood.
Yeah, and they had so many like the Ant-Man helmet, the way it just so many people started using like nanotech stuff. It was just. Like Thor had a nanotech helmet.
Even Spider-Man.
I mean, he had a nanotech suit, so it was like one thing.
Well, actually, no. It's kind of interesting. It's like even in like Spider-Man, when they upgraded his like basic suit, eventually it got nanotechy.
I don't know. Like you're talking like with No Way Home. I don't think the No Way Home suit, because the No Way Home suit is basically just the Far From Home, Homecoming suit with nanotech added to it.
Yeah, exactly. Nanotech. They put nanotech in the suit.
That's what I actually liked about, like, at least with the Holland's least at Homecoming, he still had like an actual mask that he could pull off.
Yeah, 1 and 2 of that trilogy, he still had a mask. I mean, even in Far From, in like the last one, he still had a mask. It's just a lot of the suit was that, and I was like, you could tell to a certain degree.
Also, like the problem with like the Spider-Man suits is they always have like a face shell over it, so it's really hard to do the shots where he's like pulling off his mask. That's why they don't do it that often in the movies, because you got to stage it like very specially. Also, like the suits are either designed to be like maskless or no maskless. I expect, because I know like the Tobey Maguire suits function off of tension. So like when you had ones that were made without the mask, it had to be like specially made. Sorry, I was getting a little bit nerdy there.
A little bit. But it's like, the other point of CGI. Actually, there's another VFX shot that I want to give some shout out to. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Okay. Nick, what's your take on the stuff with like Iron Man and whatnot?
I think, I think Jared's right about needing dings and scratches and stuff. It helps sell the realism.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we go.
And I'm not a big fan of nanotech.
No.
So share my screen. So watch this.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Venom stuff is actually kind of a form of nanotech. Like it functions kind of like that's a nanotech kind of helmet.
Similarly, but the difference
works.
is it's an alien, so it's like it's there's never been like a thing where you just takes off the head and it does that. And whereas opposed with Iron Man, they've had suits where it just folds back into the head and it was fine. It's just the problem is like I think what Disney did under Victoria Alonso actually is that they got too reliant on nanotech and wanted to use it as a like cheat code essentially.
Oh, and I'm not saying all new CGI is bad. By the way,
there are some great CGI shots.
Like Dune, I think Dune is a perfect example of what the like. Look at this, Jared. Look at that.
Oh God,
look at that.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, Jared's actually never seen Dune, so this is the first time seeing.
I know. I saw the first Dune movie. I never saw Dune 2.
Like, look at this.
Yeah, that looks great.
Like, this is what happens in modern day when you give people the time and the dedication. Denis Villeneuve is also a great filmmaker.
When you have a director that can communicate effectively to the VFX artist, and when you don't, because the problem with that a lot of the Marvel VFX artists ran into is, but on that, see, you could have unrealistic CGI in that case because guess what? For the source material that it's adapting, it's an anime, you can go with that. And you know, it works for the vibe that you're trying to set for the movie. We're not saying everything has to be like 100% realistic because you could argue a lot of those cars don't have a lot of weight, but it's like, it's adapting an anime.
Yeah.
When you're adapting an anime, you kind of have to like.
All right, I gotta get the shout out.
Anime style.
Yes. Oh, look, it's Admiral Noble.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yep, Jared's gonna say
it's
something."
Admiral Noble.
So, Jared, did you know that the guy who played Admiral Noble, he played a character on Game of Thrones called Dario Naharis?
Well, little do you know is that actually he went to stasis in the Game of Thrones era.
Like, okay, I gotta give a shout at this. Like, look how good. Like, this looks believable. Because you have, like, a face, like, look at, like, this part right here. It looks good, like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And also, they did the anime eyes!
They did the anime eyes, which, again, it's not realistic, but you're adapting an anime.
It works.
Yes, go ahead.
It works, though.
And when you know, it's kind of funny.
But this is really the thing that I want to shout out.
Well, you know what's interesting?
CGI. Like, only the face. And,
when
like, how seamless it is.
When I first saw this movie, I didn't know she was totally CGI.
Really? I thought
it was mostly just like maybe the eyes or the face or stuff that they play with. No, that's an entirely CG character. I didn't notice it. Speaking of good VFX or stuff you don't notice. Obviously, the eyes I knew were CGI. But besides that, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, this is a bit of a tangent. But the actor for Noble, he's actually, like, been around for a while. I just want to,
Oh, yeah, I know that. But I will always know him as Admiral Noble.
I have to, like, show you, like, this clip real quick. Just to weird you out.
Oh God! It's Sarah Connor.
I always have a choice. They drew their swords, and I drew mine.
So Jared, Dario Naharis eventually did get recasted, and you might recognize the recast.
A single rider, a champion. Not meaningless if half the city even tend to take is listening to them.
Except the horrible Batman.
All right. Let's see. Let me just. All right. There we go. Oh crap!
I come from nothing.
Do you recognize him?
Oh my God!
Return to nothing.
Oh my God!
Let me kill this man for you.
It's Gunner. This is the real Rebel Moon.
So no, Jared, you don't get the meta-ness of it, okay? That's Dario Naharis. That's a recast. So in Rebel Moon 2, we have a Dario versus Dario battle.
Restore the Dario verse.
Oh my god! I'm
wow,
sorry.
that is amazing that we got the both characters. I wonder if they had a Dario off on set of Rebel Moon.
I'm sure they mentioned, talked about it. See, my favorite part about Fast X is you have both Aquaman teaming up.
Okay, you know what? If we're going back to that image of, hang on.
No, in Fast X, Jason Momoa is the villain, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He was Aquaman. And his sidekick is Alan Richardson, who played Aquaman.
Okay, I got
Aquaman versus Groot.
It's the Aquaman versus Groot. By the way, here's a good VFX shot. I know it's a Zack Snyder shot, but Cyborg from the Snyder cut. You know, I'm trying to get as far as we know, we don't have a reference to what a cyborg moves like.
So Jared, you remember Cyborg's dad from
Miles Dyson? Yeah, he's Miles Dyson. There you go.
So I guess you can say he knows a thing or two about robots.
He knows a thing about Terminators, about cyborgs. Oh yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about?
I want you to come with me right now.
I love this scene. I just want to
by the way, I hate the actor who plays John.
Eddie Furlong?
He didn't play because by the way, John's supposed to be 10 and not like 13. You might want to mute it.
Okay. Yeah. Also, that scene's a little gruesome, so we'll just get.
Here's the other thing: if you go in Terminator 1, there was the scene where like Arnold takes out his eye. And,
all right, enjoy your food, Nix.
Yeah, there was a scene. There was a scene in Terminator 1 when Arnold is taking out his eye, and it's essentially because it got like shot out. Oh yeah, this scene. I know how they did this scene.
Oh! I'm gonna explain it.
Yeah, please do. That's a good explanation.
Sorry, I'm just I need to get to a very certain shot. You know what shot I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. There we go. All right. So Jared knows exactly what I'm about to do. So this scene is really interesting. Okay. So did you know that Linda Hamilton had a twin?
Mm-hmm. I did.
So they basically doubled up this scene. This is a model. This is like a maquette head. That is actually Arnold right there. These are twins, and I think this is Eddie. So Arnold's actually right there behind the mirror. Mm-hmm. Like, I love these behind the scenes, like how they do it tricks. It is just so interesting.
Yeah, the cool part is when you actually see like, okay, when they actually are able to like use these the stuff they got away with back then always ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, exactly. But this scene is just, it's so practical. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, Linda Hamilton being twins helps a lot. Mm-hmm. But we could do this. Like, we had also yeah, and like the Black Panther suit looks fine in most situations. I think it looks best in the field, like in the fields of Wakanda fight.
Well,
in Korea, it looks a little bit iffy.
Quick thing: the suit in Civil War for Black Panther is not nanotech or CG. It's an actual suit.
Yeah. Also, hey,
that's why it looks
better.
Better. Hey, what's up?
But yeah, I just love, like, I used to like watch a lot of these behind the scenes features of like also like how they did it. Mm-hmm. I love like these little movie magic stories. It's so cool. Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you know in Alien the original? So they when they filmed the scene of like these of like Dallas and Lambert going into the alien ship, they wanted everything to seem like larger. So you know what they did?
What?
In the scenes where you see the people in the spacesuits, that's Ridley Scott's kids in the spacesuit.
Oh,
they did that because when you look at it compared to the size of a child, like the space jockey looks much larger.
Yeah. Another fun fact for Lord of the Rings. So they're like for some of the shots, they actually use like little people as stand-ins for them. And so like they like that scene in the beginning where where Elijah Wood's character runs up to the hill to see Gandalf. That's actually like a little person doing that, and so like Elijah Wood had to coach them. I always found that kind of interesting. But yeah, I think probably we should wrap up here. We're kind of running out of things to talk about. So Jared, what do you got going on, and where can people find you?
All right, so you can find me at Comics League, and tonight at 11 for CLD, I'll be having William from the Sci-Fi Center on the show. He's a content creator. He owns a comic book shop, and he's big into the Snyder Cut community. So I've been on his channel before. This is going to be his debut on mine, so it's going to be really fun. Tomorrow, Britt and I are going to be recording an episode where we talk about if they had actually concluded the Snyderverse and moved over to the Gunverse with like a Crisis on Infinite Earths live action movie. How would we do that? And yeah, I just released my Under Two Capes episode, as Brown Destroyer says, about what the DCU can do to succeed. A lot of it involves getting new suits because the ones they have currently suck. But my point is, we tried to be as nice and kind as possible because, again, as DC fans, we want this stuff to do well. But yeah, so far that's about all I got. By the way, I completed Arkham Knight, so now I'm gonna pick another game to alternate in with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So we'll see.
Spider-Man.
I don't have Spider-Man.
Get Spider-Man.
I don't have a PlayStation, Nick. You know this.
All right. So, Jared, since you're not leaving early, I'm just going to play this.
You are still dangerous. You can be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine.
There you go.
That's my sign off for you. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. You can find me on CLD, where I will be doing my best to harass Jared. But tomorrow I'll be badly streaming some Doom 2016. We'll see how far I can get before I rage quit. I will not be completing the game. It's just,
you're playing 2016 Doom.
Yeah, who knows? Jared might make an appearance. He maybe not. We don't know. He likes to pop in.
I may possess your machine like a demon.
He likes to do that? I don't know, guys. So thank you everyone for joining us. Next week we will have the Friday night feature. We'll be talking about Hook. Jared will not.
No. I'm gonna be running in the opposite direction.
He has poor taste in movies. Everybody. So thank you everyone for joining us. And remember, I can only show you the door. WonderPad is canon.